hello. It's a bit weird, eh? Having a live on a Monday night. First of all, that it's a live. Another thing that
Yeah,
it's on a Monday night.
yeah.
But yeah, welcome back to a brand new episode of 343. And Riyaz has actually just joined in the nick of time over here.
Perfect
Amazing
timing. What a
timing.
late run into the box.
That's how the midfielders roll, I suppose.
That's how the
Oh, yeah.
midfielders look.
Coming in from deep. What a
Making
legend.
that
How you
late
guys
run.
doing? How you guys doing?
Yo, I'm all good, man. It was a good weekend. I didn't watch much football, which maybe was for the best. Yeah, I had a good time. I was out in like Stellenbosch side, so I can confirm that the weather was lovely this weekend. That's all that I can confirm.
Oh goodness me! It wasn't. It
Is
wasn't
is
that
that
good this side,
all?
to be honest with you.
Hmm. Yeah. It's gone. Please.
No,
Yes, how
no,
you
How are
doing?
no.
you?
Like I'm okay. I'm not too bad. Um, doing well so far, I guess.
Aren't you
The
nervous?
night is still young.
Aren't you nervous?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just gonna say the night is still young, so anything can happen to my evening. But yeah, so far so good, I guess. Good weekend. Well, not a good weekend of football. It's a bit annoying when um, I'm just gonna call it as this when there's issues with the refereeing, but
Mm.
not too bad. Not too bad. How you? How's your weekend been, eh?
No, it's actually been chilled, eh? Actually been nursing a bit of a cold my side, but yeah,
Oh, that's fine.
we cap on, man. We carry on.
The
We
wind,
do
man.
the
Must
best
shout
that
out to
we
the
can.
wind.
And at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if
that's
your
the
team
thing,
comes away with
Riyaz.
3 points, then
Mm.
you can just celebrate it, man. That's
I
all.
was so angry. I switched off the TV at that point. I was so angry because I don't. Was there anything else to watch at that point? I'm not sure if there were other games on or something, but I
I
either
don't think
changed
that.
channel
Nah, I think that was the first game. Yeah, that was the first one.
and I was like,
Still.
"It's
Yeah.
coming, yeah, it's coming, it's coming," and then it came, and I was like, "Yeah,
And
switch it off."
United didn't even deserve that winner. Yo, they played
Exactly,
so bad.
but it always comes, man. Forget time.
And just on that, like I'm just gonna go straight into United talk right now because um yeah, like I feel like the VAR stuff we can leave that for just before we do the analysis of the Spurs Chelsea game, because I feel like that's going to take a huge chunk of our time. But the United game, I mean, what are United even doing at the moment? I I don't know, man. It feels like the team has completely regressed from where they were last season. Everything that the fans felt at that point last season when we won the cup, when we finished third, it just felt like we were on this slow incline. It wasn't a rapid rise, but like we were on the slow incline. And then this season, it just like the moment the season started, it felt like nah, like we a team that didn't have preseason. We looked unfit. We looked lost for ideas. We looked like a team that didn't know what sort of style they want to implement, and it just seemed like we were going backwards. And the Manchester derby, that was the most humbling thing that I think I felt all season. Like we were chasing shadows at one point.
Mm.
um, so yeah, I honestly don't know what's happening to United. It looks like there's just more individuals rather than a team that is supposed to be playing together. But yeah, I don't know. From your guys' side, how do you see the things unfolding at
But,
United at the
but
moment?
but now, what do you put that down to, though? Like UAF, obviously you follow the club more than we do, but so like because I've also watched the same thing, and it's similar to like I agree with you on everything that you're saying. But now, what do you put it down to?
I don't know, to be honest, because at one point in the season, Eric Ten Hag, obviously he was brought into Manchester United with the style that he implemented at Ajax, this really nice, free-flowing, attacking football. And a couple of weeks ago, he just ended up saying that no, you can't implement the Ajax style at United. It's a different types of players, so he has to
Yeah,
now mesh that Ajax style with the United DNA.
yeah.
And is that him saying that United players aren't good enough to play the style that he played at Ajax?
Jason, you
Um,
want to take this one?
yeah, no, I think it's crazy. Firstly, I just want to say, hey, if this is how passionate you are after your team won, and you have a dig at your club, I think we saw less emotion when your team lost. I think it just spurred you up now to talk about all of the negativity that's going on in your club. Yeah, it's interesting because I was listening to that interview, or like watched it at least, and I saw the comments, and I'm like, but you signed Onana, you signed Van der Beek, you signed Martinez. These are Ajax players, and now we're not saying that three players bring the whole system together. But I think what he's saying is that to play that Ajax system, you need to go play in Holland, you need to play in the Amsterdam Arena, and you need to have an 11 of players that just know the system. And I don't think that the players can't do it. I just think they've been stuck in such a rut of playing whatever football gets the win, which isn't very conducive to any long-term plan. I think last season we had seen that there were many games where it looked like there was nothing happening, and then there were games where actually I think many United fans thought that they could see what Eric was trying to implement. And then, like you say, it just seemed like all of that, they threw all of that out and they said, okay, this season we'll start new. And that's what we've seen in the start of the season. Very up and down, very inconsistent. And yeah, it's an interesting one from an outside perspective because I sort of wanted to continue, but at the same time, it's like, it's actually getting to the point where you start to feel sorry. And it's like, yo, I don't know, maybe there's not many fans that would agree with that, saying that they actually start to feel sorry for like Man United in this little rut that they are. But yeah, I don't see the wholesale changes coming where you get 11 players that can understand system. So I don't know, maybe this is a chance for Erik ten Hag to redefine himself and maybe try a different philosophy, more of a hybrid one, and actually just stick to it then and take whatever comes with that. You just take it and you say, okay, guys, this is the process. We'll play this football. But it's like it almost came across as like he was a bit. He first started out very arrogant because they'd won a bit, errors come to an end and all those stuff. And now it's like he's blaming everything else. Like you can't sit on the fence when it comes to this. You're either 100% arrogant, you have Jose Mourinho, or you're just somebody who just is always negative and you're always going to blame everything else except for taking the ownership.
Yeah,
If
and
you agree with that, you can tell me.
no, like you bring up like many valid points, but also yes, Erik ten Hag's had quite a few injuries that he's had to deal with. I mean, he hasn't had a proper left back all season. He
Yes,
brought
Regulon.
Regulon in as a
Yeah.
wait. I'm getting there. I'm getting
Sorry,
there.
sorry.
I mean, you brought Regulon in as a stopgap after both Shaw and Malasia were injured. Then Regulon got injured. Then we were playing with Dalo as left back and Wan Bissaka as right back, and then Wan Bissaka got injured, and then we played as with Amrabat as left back. So, like, fair enough, he hasn't really had his first choice players in the necessary positions, but I mean, a good manager should be able to work with his back against the wall, and um, even when Regulon's been fit now, he hasn't been starting. So does that mean that Erik ten Hag doesn't actually like Regulon? Like, was that even his signing then? Was that just John Murtaugh like saying, okay, here's a left back, be happy, like play, like use him in your squad? So I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. There was that report that came out last week about Varane not agreeing with something in the hierarchy at United, and then suddenly he was sick or ill for training before the Newcastle game, and then he didn't play
Yeah.
the Newcastle game, and then he came on for 2 minutes over the weekend in the 93rd minute. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of question marks above the club at the moment. Where's Donny van der Beek? Like the dude can't even get into matchday squads anymore. Like
There's one
is
guy
he
that
even
will
at
advocate
United?
for Donny van der Beek more than his mother, and 3F Parker. I'm going to tell you that
Bruh,
now. This
bruh.
guy.
I
It's
think
a
I think
shambles, bruh. It is
I,
a shambles.
I think
But
what's important. I think what's important is also that, like you say now, with the injuries and things like that, um, after buying like Onana and well, basically Onana, which is important because he wanted a ball playing keeper. You need players. I think I saw someone say this on the weekend. You need players in front of him who is going to take the ball. You can't really
So you
transition
can't
from
use
the
Johnny
keeper.
Evans.
That's what I mean. So how can you play Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire in front of Onana and then expect him to play the ball out from there? It's just like if you had Martinez and Varane, different story. You can play the ball out from the back. If you have Luke Shaw on the left, even if you have Luke Shaw in the centre back, you can play out from the back. But I think that break in the style of play is now starting to kind of show. Where he doesn't have like you say, if he doesn't really have a backup plan, which is a bit of a problem at the moment. But they're still eking out wins, so I guess that's a positive, I suppose. But I think once all the injury prone people come back, I think we'll see a better, more fluid United. Simply because of that thing where they can play the style of football that they want to play from Onana to the centre backs to wherever else from there, and they need to find a place to play
Yeah.
two people. They need to find a place for Mount, and they need to find a place for Bruno because Bruno should not be starting on the right wing. That is criminal for me. Like when I see that team sheet and I see Bruno starting on the right wing, I want to cry because that is ridiculous. Like honestly, I can't believe it.
100%. But yeah, like progressing that ball from Onana right down the spine of the team, that is so vital. And I don't know, maybe we haven't seen Amrabat and Casemiro actually play together in a double pivot. That could be an answer. But yeah, at the moment, Ten Hag doesn't have uh, a full fit team at his disposal right now. So you never know. Like, gonna
I
have to
think
wait and see.
the consistency comes when that spine is obviously like consistent. If you have your centre back pairing, then you have your two midfielders or your three midfielders, whatever it is, and then obviously Erasmus who forms the apex of this arrow going forward, right? All of the good teams back in the day, you can look at their spine. I mean, I think back to Liverpool, 2019, 2020 when they won, and they had Alisson,
Yeah,
they had Van Dijk, they had the Henderson, that front three, and then I think if you go further back to where I think I really started to take note was maybe, I mean, I was young, so it was probably Arsenal in that invincible season, but then Chelsea when they went on that mad run, it was like check, right, and then it was John Terry who played almost every game. You had Frank Lampard who was also playing almost every game, and then you had Didier Drogba who was always there. So yeah, that spine needs to be sorted out, and I don't know, man. The progressing thing, it's fine, right? Because you obviously don't have players. But I think you either stick to the system and do it poorly, or you try and do a makeshift and then make sure that you win. But now at this moment in time, it's like one game we'll stick to the system and then it'll be well, and then the next game it's this and that. Like if you want to do something well, you first have to be able to accept the fact that you will do it poorly. So rather stay true to the style or put up with what's happening right now. Like it can't be, and I fully understand that certain games, like I mean, if Arsenal play against Liverpool at Anfield, I don't think we play our ball playing football that we'd normally play if we play them at Emirates, and that's okay. But for more often than not, you need to have a consistent style because then players they'll be shown up, and then you'll have more evidence. And whether this management and ownership sees that, obviously it's a long discussion where I'm sure AF has a lot of opinions about that as well. But it's rather show up that you have a system, you have a clear identity, and this is what's lacking. And then you start acquiring piece by piece. And okay, maybe you started, and it's going to take like 2 or 3 windows, maybe even 4 windows. But
Yeah, it needs
shame,
time
man.
still.
Yeah,
well,
no,
fair
100%.
enough. Fair enough. He needs time, but
Yeah.
I also feel like the signings that he's made. I mean, 100 bill for Anthony, who
That was
seems like
ridiculous.
he might be on his way out now in a swap deal for
Yeah.
Gabigol in Brazil.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but
and
I
then
thought
60
he
mil
was so much
for
older. He's only like 27. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, and then 60 mil for Mason Mount that's been on the bench for the last couple of games. Coming on, getting cameos and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. He's not doing himself any favors with
Yeah,
with the amounts that he's paying for these guys. Yes, you want
yeah,
these players to come in, but that
yeah,
doesn't mean that you have to pay whatever the clubs are asking for it. There needs
yeah,
to you needs to draw a line and be like, okay, I have other targets. If you're gonna
yeah.
price me out of this guy, then I'm gonna go somewhere else. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But yeah, I think that's all for United for now. Which other games besides the Arsenal Newcastle game did you guys catch this weekend?
Um, so yeah, I was at a wedding. So while the whole procession was going on, we had like Man City against Bournemouth. Well, not the whole procession, but at least we would like catch a glimpse here. And then I'd check my phone, in between courses and that stuff, and I saw City and I saw Jeremy Doku, and it's like everything that happened was just Jeremy Doku, and I think he joins a very, I wouldn't say elite group of players, but a select few that have the 4 assists in like one game. Um, and I've always known that there's like Fabregas involved there and there's Santi Cazorla, but actually, I think there's like 4 Arsenal players that are on that list, which I'm going to take that as Arsenal's win after obviously everything that happened this weekend. Yeah, I caught that, and then shots out, man. Yeah, I am somewhat of a social butterfly, man. Sometimes the wind blows you to Stellenbosch. Sometimes you stay in Athlone Green. It's really it just happens. But yeah, I think City were really impressive. I think it's just like they keep showing that there are different ways that they can win a game, and that's so upsetting because we show there are different ways to lose a game, and they're like, okay, guys, this is the one. Last week against Manchester, we're gonna play against Man United. We'll play Jack Grealish, and it will be perfect. This week at home, we're gonna go Jeremy Doku, and it's like they improve. There's never a drop in massive quality. So
Yeah,
it's crazy. That was my game. I'm not sure whether he has watched any of the other games at least besides
Yeah,
Newcastle.
that game was quite decent. I watched a little bit of it. Once it was about 3, I think I switched it off. I was a bit bored because it was a waste of time. But I think that another game that was good was, what was it? The Aston Villa game. Aston Villa lost this week, which was surprising.
Yeah,
They tried to. I feel like the urgency away from home isn't as, I suppose, up there as when playing at
yeah,
home. Like
yeah,
they try to hold the ball quite a lot, and they like play good passes through the middle, and then Dina makes good runs on the wide, and it's,
yeah,
it's all very neat and very very nice, but there's not really much urgency going forward, away from home anyway.
yeah,
So I think Nottingham Forest defended really really well in that game as well, and they scored, well, at least one very good goal as well. So and then there was another game. What was it? One other game that I wanted to talk about. Oh, Sheffield United won for the first time this
yeah.
season, which was super impressive. Well, impressive, I guess. I'm not sure.
Poor
Some people
Wolves,
are
eh?
saying,
yeah.
can somebody explain to me? I didn't see it. What happened in that at the end of the game with that penalty situation? Does anybody know?
Yeah, maybe AF knows a bit more.
I
I
didn't catch
genuinely,
that at all.
Apparently, there was a dubious penalty shot at the end of the game, and they scored to win the game. So,
is that Wolves again or the because what happened last week?
Yeah,
Isn't I
yeah,
mean, didn't Newcastle get the dubious one against Wolves as well? I think Wolves fan would be hard done by. If there's anybody that's in Cape Town that's a Wolves fan, please let us know what that situation was. Yeah, but I mean, good on Sheffield. It moves them from last to last, but at least they finally got at least they finally got a win. So that's always good, right? You know,
that's
so
terrible, Tracy. That's terrible.
shots fired.
yeah, they have the same stats as Burnley, and I think the goal difference is literally just separated by like one or something like that. But yeah, maybe
Poor
it
Yeah,
means
but
Burnley
something.
though.
Bournemouth got smacked. Now they have
yeah,
Newcastle next, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
poor Lal Foster, man. Dude deserves a better team.
Yeah. No, but I think he was injured, and I think let's just
Yeah,
chalk it
Yeah,
off to him being injured as to why
100%,
Burnley lost at home.
100%. But
Um,
guys, I don't know if you caught the Luton Liverpool game last night. One for the Romantics.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was that. How good was that game, man? And I mean, Riyaz, you must have enjoyed seeing Trent Alexander-Arnold being skinned twice or thrice last night. Who's that winger from Luton? He was just taking him on
Or
every
Villa or
single
something like that.
time.
Yeah.
Wow, it was crazy. And like there was this one run that he made, and he got past Trent, and then he got past Antonio as
Konate
well.
as well. Yeah. You got past Konate. Like,
Konati, sorry.
yeah.
And yo, it was. I'm just like, nah. What's Riyaz thinking right now? Is Riyaz watching this? Riyaz doesn't want to
I
speak.
mean,
He's scared.
Yeah.
He's scared Nikita's in the chat or something.
Yeah. Nikita's
no,
waiting.
look,
Nikita.
I mean, you like you glossing past all the like all the good things that he did, like provide the assist, or he didn't provide the assist, but like he put people through, and there was one really nice ball he gave Nunes over the top from the right channel, which Nunes missed, obviously.
Oh my god, that
But
was probably like
as
match
long as
of
he
the season
stays,
or something.
as long as Trent stays on the right at the right back, we're all good. I'm Gucci with him. I like him a lot. He's a good right back. Just don't come into the middle of the park, please. I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
saying that. You got Xbox there, even though we all know he's bad at defending. But if you're in the right place, your centre back also got caught out. So it's not. So he did really well. But Nunes, you're bad.
Uh,
Yeah.
it, it was like quite poetic that Luis Diaz scored the equalizer at the end with
Yeah.
everything going on
Yeah.
in his personal life. So yeah, that was quite nice to see. But yeah, that Darwin Nunes miss, I don't think he's going to be forgetting that anytime soon. Oh, we just lost Riaz.
I think
Um,
Nikita took him out. Not gonna lie to you.
yeah, I think that's all Nikita. She's not saying anything in the chat, but yeah, she probably like ruined his line or something like that.
Yeah. No, but that Luton game, I think they always up for it, and they were doing so well, right? They withheld everything Liverpool had to offer, and okay, there were chances in the first half. I think Nunes, I think somebody needs to clip how many times the Spurs hit the crossbar or upright, or because I feel like every game he has a shot that hits crossbar or upright, and it's like I think one of the games he actually got an assist for it. I think it was maybe against Toulouse, where he went
Mm.
through and then he hit the shot that hit the upright after being like 1-on-1 or like rounding the keeper or something
And
like
then
that.
Gakpo tapped it in or something.
Yeah, Gakpo. I think it was maybe Gravenberch or like something like, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every game. So I think even against Bournemouth, he had shown that he had a horrible first touch, and then he gets the ball, obviously, recovers, does well to go fetch it again, and then curls on into the top 90, and that's like literally, it just sums him up so perfectly. Like, give him that easy chance inside the 6-yard area, and okay, guys, let's just write it off. Ask him to make that same miss again, and he'll never be able to do it.
Yeah.
But then give him a shot from 30 yards out, and he puts it into the top 90 without a shadow of a doubt, and he just close his eyes and shoot it in the top, and it's like, he's just a gift that keeps on giving, because I don't think he knows what he's going to do from game to game. It's like whichever Darwin turns up, right, is one that Klopp just needs to deal with on the day, because what you'll see Monday to Friday is different to what you'll see on a Saturday and Sunday. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird.
I think that dude he's doing way too many crossbar challenges in training. And it's becoming part of his game now. Like he's not looking for the inside of the net, he's just going for the crossbar. And
Yeah.
done. Before we go to the VAR fiasco, did you guys catch any of the Harry Kane highlights from the Bayern Munich versus Dortmund game?
Yo.
Yo,
Nah, the guy was
he
like,
just
he's
he
just
just
running the
skinned him
show there.
alive, eh?
Yeah.
Like I think that was he scored a hat trick, and it was some record that he made or something like that. 10 goals in like the
Yeah,
first
no,
few
so it's
games.
like, I think it's like 15 goals, right, in 10
Yeah,
games. And he's got
yeah,
3
it's
hat-tricks
crazy.
already. Yeah, he's got 3 hat-tricks already. So you would possibly excuse it if you were saying, he like wasn't scoring when he was here in England, and now he's gone to Germany, and now he's like banging it in. But I mean, in all fairness, every season Kane is a consistent like 20 to 25, maybe, or like 15 to 20, maybe something like that. And now he's in Germany, where I mean, it has this perception that it's an easy league and it's just Bayern and Dortmund, which I think it's not really the case. But yeah, you've just added, like, it's like you brought Lewandowski back, and I
Yes.
think he could smash numbers because it's still the first half of the season. It's November and he's on 15 goals already. So I'm not sure what the record is. I'm not sure whether Erling Haaland holds it or like Lewandowski holds it, but I think Harry Kane could be on for some crazy numbers this season.
Yeah, and with that creativity in the middle of the park for him, not to say that he didn't have much creativity at Spurs,
I think
but
that's right. You actually can say that because he didn't. But yeah, go on.
no, man. I mean, the guy's had Eriksen over the years. He's had Son. I mean, you can't say that he was lacking creativity. I think it's just creativity on a higher scale over at Bayern
Yeah, more
because now he gets it
efficient
from.
level.
There
Yeah.
was no
Exactly.
midfielder involved.
But yeah, Riyaz, I don't know if you want to give any thoughts on your former main man.
Riyaz doesn't have time to think about Harry Kane. If anything, Harry Kane might have time to think about Spurs, but Riyaz doesn't care. Out of the old and into the new.
Sorry. I was my thing is earthing. Sorry, what was that? I just heard my name.
Do you have anything to say on Harry Kane before we move on?
Harry Kane, yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's a good striker. Woohoo! You know,
Yeah.
he's good at scoring goals. That's about it. When we show that we are good enough to have him, he'll come back and then he'll want to be our striker again. He'll come crawling on his knees, which will be nice. But we will reject him because we don't want that kind of nonsense. No, I'm joking. He will obviously welcome him back with open arms, and you know, it will be nice to have him back. But he's a proven goal scorer. He's an amazing striker, and I'm glad he's doing so well. It's good, really good for him. Shame, but they lost they out another cup though. So
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
he got
New
to
Pokal.
look forward to
Yeah,
now?
but let's not blame Harry Kane for that. Harry Kane is on the bench. Let's blame everybody else that
What
was
do you mean? He's
playing.
a serial loser. He's a
Nah, I
serial
don't say
loser.
that, man.
It was
Yo,
just
I mean,
his,
look,
his presence. His presence.
yeah.
That's all that they
Yeah.
needed.
He took all the Spursy with him. He took the Spursy with him, and you know, you can keep it there by him.
But actually, just on Harry Kane, and I mean, Ramiz was saying in the comments saying the EPL misses Harry Kane, and I actually misread it. I thought FPL misses Harry Kane because, yeah, I actually do miss Harry Kane as a FPL asset. But that's, I mean, after
He was
the
too expensive.
disaster show that we had this weekend with like captain speaks and stuff, we always had Harry Kane who would get a goal and assist, or he's guaranteed at least a goal. That's all. And now it's like you'd think amongst who is it? I think it was Salah against Luton, Haaland against Bournemouth, and then there's somebody else that they were talking about that is Watkins at home or Watkins against like
Away.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
You'd think one of the captains picks pays off, and everybody else who
Yeah.
captain somebody other than the main captain falters. But yeah, what a disaster this week! I've never seen a game week average
I
this
haven't
low.
looked
And
yet. I'm scared.
yeah,
I have 3 Spurs players still tonight, so I'm just hoping for the best here.
and I mean, people talk about
I'll take that.
FPL, right? About how you supporting teams that you'd never support because you obviously need points. And if we somehow can scrap this from the recording that is live, yeah, maybe I need a Mickey van der Ven clean sheet, a goal, and like a Madison. But it's like at the same time they can't win tonight, so I don't know. I'll
Yo,
just put up
he
with
says that
a
he says
bad
that with his
FPL
full chest,
rather.
wearing his Arsenal jersey, wanting
Look,
a
man.
Spurs clean sheet.
Yo,
Yo,
FPL
I like
points, but
that.
then I corrected myself and
live.
said rather put up with my bad FPL points.
No, we didn't. We didn't see that last part, Jason. We only heard the first
Yeah,
part.
it's okay. People in the comments, so it's fine. Yeah,
Okay, let's move on to the main course. And Jason, you can have the floor. You can rant as much as you want to. I know you want to. I can see it on your face.
nah.
Let
We're
it
ready
all
for
out
it.
there.
We're ready
Let
for
it
it.
all out. Just let it
I,
out.
I don't know if I'm gonna say anything that hasn't been said before. Like, it's the same shocking things, right? But it's um every team gets it, but it's getting to a point where the bad decisions are affecting like big games. Normally we'd see it and it's like, okay, it's Newcastle against Wolves, maybe, say for instance, right? Or it's like Sheffield against Aston Villa. But it's such there are so many more monumental decisions that are going wrong in games that affect top 6 teams, maybe top 10 teams. And we must look at the whole league and say it's bad for everybody. And when it hits your team, it's like, there were 3 incidents that they're supposed to check. And okay, the angle from ball being out of play, that's okay, because that is like there's this weird optical illusion where if you look at it from the side, it looks out, but then you look from the top and a slither of the ball is on the line, so it's still in. Fine. Then we look at the foul and we're saying, okay, no, Gabriel must jump, but he can't because somebody's hands are on his shoulder area. So it's hard to propel yourself. And if he does, maybe he knocks Jolinton in the face and then it's a penalty. And then the offside where Riyaz out to the poles and there's one defender closest and you need to have 2 players, and then it's like marginal things, and like I said, so I'm at this wedding, right? And I'm sitting and it's on the screen. And somebody next to me knocks me and he's like, look here. And I'm like, the first replay goes and I said, okay, ball out. Okay, foul. Okay, maybe it's offside. So I'm like 2 out of 3. I'm thinking one of that has to go. And then I'm like, okay, now they're like, just show Arsenal players surrounding that ref. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was like Stuart Atwell maybe. And everybody surrounding him. And never once do we say, okay, let's go look at the monitor. It's just they check that ball, okay, inconclusive. Check the file and then looking for like possible offside, and then suddenly it's just go like, nah, man. Yeah, they'll never correct it. They'll never. I think Anthony Taylor was demoted to championship, but that ref that made that poor decision for the Liverpool Spurs game just got suspended. Atwell's
Yeah.
not. There's nothing that's gonna happen now. Atwell's maybe just gonna get a suspension. Maybe he goes down, but what does that do? Because I even saw a clip where I think Anthony Taylor gave like a suspicious penalty now when he was in the championship. So, it's just words can't actually describe it. And I mean, every club feels it, and it hurts when it's your club, but it's like it's ruining the league. And yeah, it's just
I
every
mean,
week it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when and which game gets affected by poor decisions.
yeah. I mean, like Arteta came out after the game, and
Yeah,
he didn't mince any of his words. He said what he was feeling, and fair enough. Like, I mean, he's been criticized for saying what he said, but
yeah,
maybe he might have crossed the line to an extent. But I mean, if you feel that your team's been outdone by, then you should
yeah,
voice your opinion.
I don't
yeah,
think he crossed the
Just
line, to be honest. I think his words were very, very, very well done. Like the way
no, no,
he
no.
spoke was well done.
I agree. I'm just talking about like
but the
the media,
standard of
and
like how
yeah,
coaches talk about, I think, yeah, I can
he's
understand that,
been
but also
criticized
agree
quite a
with
bit
you.
because they said
Yeah,
that he hasn't been like he hasn't held himself in the correct manner, and
mm,
I I just feel like his team was given a rotten deal in with that
yeah,
call, and he had every right to say what he did. That it was a dubious decision to
yeah,
allow that goal. And then, I mean, going back also with the Kai Havertz, that you should have had a red card. Bruno
yeah,
Guimaraes, you should have seen red as well.
yeah,
There was just like bad refereeing decisions all around
yeah,
in that game.
yeah,
I mean that Bruno Guimaraes, what he did, like that's not even allowed in MMA, and
yeah,
he just got away with it. Like they could have used VAR to like look back on that to see if it's like violent play or something like that.
yeah,
It just wasn't done. So what's the use of having the technology? It
yeah.
makes no
So
sense to me.
yeah, I was getting all those clips in like isolation. So Kai Havertz, I think
Mm.
the first clip that I saw was from behind Longstaff, and it looks like a red. But then I'm like, the first foot misses, and then the second time, 100% foul, yellow card. I think maybe he might escape it because there've been so many worse incidents that have actually like gotten away. So now you look at maybe Kovacic against Man City. I think it was Harry Kane on Andy Robertson, maybe like a season or two ago, where he went in like off the ball or not off the ball, but off his feet, clips him. The ref says, okay, yellow card, it's fine, nothing like that. There's just no consistency because next week somebody makes the same challenge and then suddenly they sent off for it. And then things like Bruno Guimaraes, the game against United didn't Rodri get a penalty because he had like a little bit of a hand on him, like just holding him down and basically like can't move, right? And then Guimaraes, he goes out of his way to actually, like, after the pass is made, there's a clear elbow towards the face or forearm, whatever it is. Whether it's forearm or elbow, it's still him making an attempt to play the bra's face, which, I think rugby's even stamped it out. So how can football keep it? There's just more decisions that are swaying towards a particular team. And I mean, everybody that knows me knows I love a good conspiracy, right? But you can't look away from the facts that City and now Newcastle seem to be benefiting more from these sort of decisions when they are Saudi-backed. Maybe I'm so off my rocker here and I'm just clutching at straws, but look at the incidents and look at what Newcastle get away. Look at what City get away with almost like every week, or like repeat offenses that don't get called out. And it's like, it's hard to not see any parallels and all of those things. So maybe Riyaz, from a neutral perspective, what are your thoughts? Because I'm hoping that there's no incidents this evening, but like, what are your thoughts on that Newcastle Arsenal game?
Luke, since we are actually topping the log here, I think that conspiracy might take us out next. So I think we are on the chopping block next. But I thought it took away from the game, to be honest. I was really enjoying the game, the old school nature of the game. Like, it was very much old school where people were flying in tackles. It was hardcore. And I don't think that straight up, I don't think the Havertz one was a red card. No, like for me anyway. I actually think he was going to block the ball, like he was going to stop the ball, and he slid to try and block the ball.
It looked quite violent though.
He was out of control.
Yeah,
he was out of control. I mean, but he didn't get him. He didn't get him with the lead foot. He got him with a trailing leg.
With the trailing. So it was like on the field. It was on the ground sliding.
But I mean, those have been given before though.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but that's
where the consistency comes in.
Exactly. Yeah. The consistency. That's the problem. But either way, consistency or not, for me, that wasn't a red card. Like a yellow card was fine there. And the Bruno one was the worst one. I think that was the worst one, because you can see on his face, like on the replay, before he goes to hit him, his whole body tenses, and he comes up and then he actually elbows him in the head. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like, that's such an obvious. It's foul play. Like, it's an elbow to the head. Like, you should be off with that in any game with anyone. Like, that's not okay to do. And then the goal, oh wow, at least 2 out of 3. Like, at least 2 out of 3. Like you say, Jason, like that the out one, I think, was the most okay one. Like, I understand that because it looks like you need a top down view. It looks out kind of, but like zoom up from the top, it will look like it's in, or it will be in.
We've seen that at the World Cup last year as well. I think it was Spain versus Japan.
Where it was like, I think it was
the Mitoma assist or something like that. But then his hands are all over the back of him, and that should be a foul. Because I mean, you brought up the United one last week, United versus City, where they had was it Hoyland? Hoyland had Rodri around the chest. It's one hand soft, but this one was 2 hands into the back, like, and affecting play, like actually affecting play. And then the offside, like, that was my thing. I messaged in the group to say, like, is it not offside? Because it hits, no matter when it hits Joe Linton, it hits Joe Linton at some point. And Anthony Gordon is behind the keeper. So I don't understand how they could have. They said that they didn't have conclusive evidence to know when it hit Joe Linton. But if it hit Joe Linton, at any point, he's the man is offside, surely. Unless, of course, I guess it came up for Arsenal player after that, maybe. I don't know. But it was just...
it's crazy.
But all we want is consistency. And I'm going to say something that's going to shock the world. I'm gonna say Nikita was right the last time we spoke about this. She said that everybody needs to ban. And I didn't know, but at the time when we spoke about this on the last podcast when she was here, she said that, because I asked her like what happened, like, because I wasn't obviously following what happened after the Liverpool Spurs game really, and obviously it was her club, so she was following what was happening, and she said that nobody stuck with them, like everybody was dismissing them. It became tribal and it was ridiculous.
I don't think so. I think there were quite a few teams that were also calling it. Like I was agreeing with calling out VAR, not for the replay, because I don't think the replay.
No, not for the replay. But I mean, like even Arteta said, I saw something that even Arteta came out and said it's a mistake. We must move on. And it happened to him.
Yeah, that was
So what I want basically is for what we need, I guess, is all the teams to come together and kind of face it together, because it's going to affect everyone. Like we're saying, it's at some point it's going to affect every single team, and it's not okay for blatant. Okay, like normal mistakes, fine. Like it's all good. Like fine. But blatant mistakes, I think all the managers or all the teams need to come together and stand against this PGML or whoever the case may be, because just to like streamline something or like come out with a better system or process of something so that they can stop letting such big mistakes affect games. Like big games, yes, but games. And that conspiracy theory of yours, Jason. But early, you pull that early, but we'll wait on that for a bit. But you pull that thing early. I like that.
I was thinking about it, right? And I think the Arteta, and I think most of the managers, it seems like social media clips the things in like isolation as well. I mean, I'd said that about Havertz as well, but it's like I think all of them feel that mistakes happen and that things should be. But I think there's also concrete evidence of them saying that it's horrible and they'd hate it if it happened to them. So I think that Arteta clip was taken out of a first part of the interview, and then the second part he like said something else. But I think any manager would say that, because also I think it goes back to what he had said previously. It's like if you speak up, then there's repercussions if you question the high ups. So Klopp had it. He went for it, and Klopp always seems to be on the side where I think people think he's very disingenuous, because I don't know, he's like very smug almost, right? But yeah, he speaks up for a lot of the things, and Arteta's now as well. One thing I didn't enjoy, and maybe Wasim doesn't enjoy this if he sees this, I don't know, Eddie Howe can say the things that he says. Like, I feel like he's actually one of the biggest hypocrites. Like, all of his interviews, it's like, I didn't see this, didn't see that. Like, Havertz's challenge, right? If we could see that Havertz misses him the first time and he gets him with a trailing leg and he's on the floor, Eddie Howe's right there and he says, nah, I didn't see it. And then that whole incident, obviously coaches won't speak up about something that happened to benefit their team. But it's like, rather just acknowledge that we all know VAR is like terrible and they're like making horrible mistakes, because it's going to happen to your team. It's just like, rather be on the right side and say, look here, this is bad. It's going to influence everybody, so that when it comes, there's a record, because now you actually sound like a weenie when one day you're saying this and then the next day you're saying this, and it's just like, it's terrible, man. But I can go on and on about VAR and Pogba.
Shocking.
And that's probably not going to be the last time we speak about VAR this season as well, because I mean we know that they're going to get many more decisions wrong. But now that the teams have been released for the game tonight,
let me check this
we can actually just go through that. Spurs versus Chelsea kicking off in an hour. For Spurs in goal. Sorry?
Where is the game going to be?
Stadium. We're playing home.
Spurs, We have Vicario in goal. There's Pedro Parro and Udogi as the fullbacks.
Oh, doggy
Uh,
spit. Thank the Lord.
Romero and Van der Ven as the centre backs. We have Sa and Basuma holding, with Madison Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson making up the rest of midfield, and then Son leading the line.
Okay.
For Chelsea, we have Sanchez in goal. Reece James is back at right back. Levi
How long?
Colwell at left back. For how long? Disasi and Silva as centre backs. Sterling, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, Conor Gallagher, Moises Caicedo, and Nicholas Jackson to round that off. What do you guys think of the two teams? Riyaz, you can start with you, speaking about
Um,
Spurs and Chelsea as well.
I'm just happy. I'm happy that the dog is back from injury. It was a 50-50, they said. So to have him is very, very important. He won't probably play the whole game, but I think that that's super important. Obviously, I want to get like a Van der Ven t-shirt because he's just like, whenever I look at him, it's like hearts all around. Like it's crazy. So yeah, excited about that. And then Johnson, I think, is the other one. Instead of Richarlison on the left, he deserves a start. I think he's done really well so far. He was actually quite a decent buy. I thought, why are we paying so much for him? Like, what's going on? We don't really need another winger, but now that Perisic and Solomon are both out, ended up being a good buy. And he's been playing really, really well for us. Like, he puts in effort when he comes off the bench. He makes the runs. Like the goal against we were struggling, but like the goal that he scored or that he assisted again was Son's goal. I think it was Palace or someone. Where he started on the wide, he made the header, and then he followed the run all the way into the box after making that header. It was like he puts in a shift, which is super important, I think, in the way we want to play. So yeah, I think no surprises really. Just that Udogie was fit, and Son leads the line. So Chelsea, I think Colwell is at left back. So that's going to be interesting with Disasi and what's his name,
Silva.
Silva in the center. So I think that we can never go there. To be completely honest, I think Reece is going to want to get up the field, and I think that's gonna the flanks are where we're going to be able to kind of hopefully not do damage, because that's not really the way we play, but at least expose some of the pitch behind them. Unless, of course, they go into a 3, in which case I'm not sure who's going to play on the left. But it's going to be interesting. I just want to win the game. I don't care how it's done. We can have 2% position even though we're not. We can have 2 shots even though we won't. So just a win is all I want. I'll take a draw. If you're going to give me 1 point now, I'll take it. But I think
You want to hold on to that unbeaten tag this season.
But it's more to keep up with City, man. That's the thing. It's more to keep up with City for as long as we can. And we're playing well, so there's no reason why we shouldn't. That centre back pairing is one from the gods, to be honest with you. It's been ridiculous this season so far. Really happy with it.
I mean, even though I don't really like Romero, like I can't stand him, to be honest. But he's really good at what he does, and he gets under the player's skin, man. So I mean, like
and
you have
skin
to
as well.
respect his game.
I also don't like him.
Don't look at him, man. Just look next to him. There's a specimen next to him. It's fine.
Jason, do you want to speak about the Chelsea team a bit?
If I don't have to, I'd actually appreciate that for us. I think I genuinely don't know what to say about Chelsea. I feel like every time I make a statement about them, then they always seem to contradict what I'm saying.
Okay, so they're going to be really good.
Yeah, let's say that. Let's say they're going to be really good. That does not mean that I'm supporting Spurs, people. It just means that Chelsea will be bad. That doesn't mean that Spurs will also not be bad, But yeah, it's so up and down. Like that game against Brentford last week, you're thinking, okay, they had a good game against Arsenal, maybe, maybe Arsenal were just poor, but there's They had 2 wins before that. Then it was a draw. Then they beat Blackburn. No, they'd lost, and now they'd beat Blackburn. So now it's like really, which team do we see? I'm not sure what their form is like away from home and how they set up. Obviously, Stamford Bridge, the pitch is a bit more narrow. It's a bit more compact. They're used to playing that. And I think what Spurs have done well this season is keep the ball for longer and I think make use of width a lot better and then freeing up that middle channels for midfielders to then occupy the space, right? So it's something that we see quite often now with quite a few modern teams that want to play possession-based football. It's like make those channels, force defenders to figure out whether they're going to stay and let them run or go there and create more space. So yeah, I think they've been doing that well. I think Chelsea, we always say that battles are won in that midfield pairing. So if Gallagher, Enzo, and I think I said it because I think that would probably be the main 3, possibly. If they can nullify that Basuma, Madison, Sarr thing, because I think those 3 have such a good chemistry forming, and it just seems like it's flowing, right? So when I looked at them, and I think maybe Sarr's not up to the 100% standard that you maybe want, and maybe Bentancur comes in and it's so much better. But at this moment in time, they are doing what they need to do to get wins, and it pains me to say it looks like they had the same thing that we had last season, where they can play terrible and they'll still grab a win. So yeah, I think it's going to be an open game. I think the battle I'm going to pick out is probably Raheem Sterling against Destiny Udogie. I think he's played against a fair few good right wingers, and okay, maybe he hasn't come out on tops and all of that. He gives a good account of himself, maybe for like 50% of the time, maybe. But yeah, I think it's returning back from that injury, playing against Sterling, who I think picked up a bit of form of late. Also, once again, I'm saying this now, he's probably going to have the worst game of his life. I think it should be interesting, and I think all you have to do is just run at Destiny Udogie. I think in the Arsenal game, I don't think that we did that enough, and I think that's when he started to grow into confidence because teams weren't actually going at him. So yeah, I think Sterling against Udogie, that's my battle, besides the centre mids and that midfield spine space.
Do you know who I'm really, I don't know, like I'm disappointed is Robert Sanchez. Like I feel like
Yeah,
he was quite good at over at Brighton, and
Mm.
then he got dropped for Jason Steele,
yeah,
and I think that like dented that guy's confidence
yeah,
to a whole new level. And he moved to Chelsea, and he's been making these really silly mistakes, like
yeah,
mistakes that you never saw him make before. And like the second goal against Brentford, you went up
yeah.
for the header and they just broke. And I mean, it's not great watching back. Like it's not great watching him try to sprint with a striker.
He was quick though.
Because
He was rapid. Like he got
That
back,
wasn't his
he was
fault.
and
That
yeah,
wasn't
that's what
his
quite
he.
fault.
fast.
That's a poor Chelsea setup from that corner.
Yeah,
But
no, 100%.
He passed 2 Chelsea players on the way to the goal.
Yeah,
He ran past 2 of them. So why aren't they
yeah,
getting back as well?
yeah,
Like that is
yeah,
ridiculous
100%.
to me.
But yeah, I mean, other things like those, like the game against Arsenal where he
yeah.
made that pass, and I think Gallagher was sleeping, so I think they have
Oh,
to
he
share the
ends up,
blame 50-50 over there. Declan Rice then obviously took advantage of that opportunity
yeah,
and he
so I had
scored
to
the
take the
goal.
chance. Yeah,
Yeah, so like, but I mean, it's there's quite a few things that he's done this season that like it doesn't really shower him in glory. And I don't think he's the long-term solution for Chelsea. I think they're going to be looking at other keepers moving forward.
yeah,
But yeah, it's really not been a great start to the season for him. And if he's gonna want to keep his Spain place, then his Spain
yeah.
national team place, then he's gonna have to pull out some much better performances moving forward. But yeah, before we wrap up, let us take a prediction call for the game tonight. Jason, I'm going to go with you, and then I'm going to end with Riyaz.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So open game. I'm thinking. I think it's gonna be a draw. I think probably like a 1-1. I think that could be. I think Chelsea maybe come and then Pochettino just sets them up to to sit and then just play counter-attacking football. Yeah, I think they maybe score first as well. Or yeah, I'm obviously not certain about how Spurs normally start at home. Is it quick? Is it because then if they do generally, if over the start of the season they've been quick, I think they take the lead first. But I think I'm gonna go for a draw. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with a Chelsea win, 2-1. Pochettino
Okay.
homecoming. I think he has a
Wow.
point to prove.
Yeah.
Um, even though I'd like to see Spurs extend this run and just stop Man City from doing whatever they are at the top of the table. I'm going for a bit of an upset, if you can put it that way,
It is an
because
upset.
yeah, it's I think that's what you can categorize it as. 2-1 Chelsea. I think Sterling gets on the score sheet. I think Enzo Fernandez gets on the score sheet, and I think Son gets on the score sheet. Yeah.
Not bad. You could have come to you last, you know. You didn't have to say that and then now come to me. Yeah. But
Not
okay.
often Spurs go into the game as the favorites to win it. But Riyaz, what do you have for?
All true, all true. I'm gonna stay my pessimistic usual self, and I'm gonna go with a draw. I'm gonna go also. I'll take a 1-1 draw. You know, take it home. I think. Oh, I don't. I want to win this game, but let's just go with a 1-1 draw. I think that so far this season, I'm literally waiting for us to unravel because we haven't unraveled yet at all. So, and we always unravel. So I'm waiting for the time and Pochettino coming back, and it's all like the signs are there for disaster. Chelsea not doing well, and it's up and down for them. They lost last week. They're going to win this week. It's like it's just there. So I'll take the draw. I'll take the 1-1. I'll have a Bentancur goal off the bench.
Because welcome back.
Yeah, because I mean I love him. I'm so happy to see him back. And I'll also say that we'll go behind. I think that Nicholas Jackson will score the first goal because you know we play the odds. He's bound to score at some point.
Yeah.
So why not tonight?
Yeah, no, like I don't know, man. Chelsea, when it comes to big teams, I mean, you saw how they played against Arsenal as well. That first half was probably the best first half of football they played this season.
Yeah.
So it's like they elevate their game against the big teams. So you never know
even the
what's going
Liverpool
to
game
happen
they
tonight.
played decently as well in the first game of the season.
But
But
right.
hopefully they don't see us as a top team, you know, so they still take it easy.
The only unbeaten team left in the Premier League. Sure, they won't.
I think you're somewhat big. You're the only unbeaten team at this moment in time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
man.
that is our show for tonight. Thank you guys for showing up. Jason, where can the people find you?
Yo, not on X ranting about VAR, that's for sure. Yeah,
Like that's a lie.
Jason_Ronnie on X. I've been tweeting a bit more, but at the same time, as he had said in the comments, I'm a bit of a social butterfly. So yeah, maybe I tweet tonight, maybe I don't, maybe I just watch the game and watch it unravel for Spurs. Yeah, that's about it. Only an X guy at this moment in time.
Yes, where can the people find you?
Oh goodness, I guess X, I suppose, at Parker_Riyaz. I don't tweet much, but you know, I'll try my best to keep checking it more often than I do now, and maybe. Is it supposed to be a place for controversial things? Because then I might as well just speak about
100%.
stuff.
Yes,
basically an online journal. So what you'd write in the physical book next to your bed, write it on X as well. People appreciate that.
100%.
I don't like evidence, man. That's the problem. So like, I'll say stuff for like half an hour and then I'll delete it again. Yeah, that's about me. That's me.
I'm AF Parker 642 on all socials: Instagram, X, TikTok, I don't know, whatever else there is. I have the same handle, and you can find us at Sportycast on all socials as well. Follow our TikTok. Jason does some amazing things over there. What
Guys,
a
please.
guy! What a guy!
I
You're the
laugh
TikTok
when I'm
man.
making those videos, right? And then it gets like 200 views. And I think, guys, I'm not cut out for this life because my ego takes a knock every time. And I'm like, this is a meme that I'll enjoy. Everybody needs to get on my sense of humor level. I think that's what it is. It's not me, it's all of you guys.
Blame us. I take it.
Not you. I'm saying all the people out
Yeah,
there.
I mean the
I know you
consumers.
enjoy my
No, the
humor.
consumers.
Yeah, but please follow us on TikTok. Give us a like. Drop us a comment
Yeah.
if you have any ideas for what you'd like us to cover as well. Sorry, AF, just to jump into the segment there. If you have any ideas or if you'd like us to cover certain things, we're obviously primarily focused on EPL. We can elevate, we can expand. So yeah, let us know. We see all the comments, we see all the likes, we do appreciate it, and yeah, let's make it a bit more interactive.
Yeah, what Jason said, and keep your eyes peeled because there might be a giveaway soon. So yeah, keep telling your friends, keep telling your family, spread the word about Sportycast. We do appreciate it. Thanks for tuning into our very first live episode, the transfer special. That was something separate. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the football later. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Riyaz. I'm AF for 343. Peace.
Cheers.